Hi everyone, we're up to Algebra 3. Oops. There we go. Solving equations with coefficients. Now a coefficient is a number in front of an unknown. So here's our unknown, there's the number in front of it. When a term is written in this way, it implies multiplication. So 2 times a is just 2 lots of a. And what's important to know in this case is that the inverse operation of timesing by 2 is dividing by 2. So, using the balancing method, if we have 2 times a equals 8, if we divide both sides by 2, the equation will stay equal. So divide these sides by 2, cancel out the 2's, I get left with a. Divide this side by 2, and I get 4. Let's check if that would work. 2 times 4 equals 8. Yeah, it does work. Okay, in this case we've got a divided by 2 equals 6. This is the same as saying a divided by 2, a over 2. So we're going to multiply by 2 is the inverse operation. If we multiply by 2, we end up with something that looks like this. And these will cancel, and a over 1 is just a. If we multiply the left-hand side by 2, we have to multiply the right-hand side by 2 as well. So that will give us a equals 12. With the next one, we can do this in 2 steps. It doesn't really matter which step we do first. But for this, what have we done here? Oh, okay. Well, you can imagine here, we've got a fraction, 2/3. I'll write it over here. 2/3 multiplied by a over 1 equals 5. Now, if we multiplied the left-hand side by 3 over 2, the 3's will cancel and the 2's will cancel, leaving us with just a. It's quite clever, really. So if we multiply the left-hand side by 3 over 2, we have to multiply the right-hand side by 3 over 2 as well, which will give us 15 over 2. And if you're not sure why, put the 5 over 1, and then it's just a fraction multiplication, which gives us 15 over 2. All right, let's have a look now at combining all of these things together. If we had 2a plus 3 equals 10, we could start by subtracting 3 from both sides, which would give us 2a equals 7, which is this line here. Then dividing both sides by 2, if we divide this side by 2, we'll just get a. And if we divide the left-hand side, we have to also divide the right-hand side. 7 divided by 2, which will be 3.5. So 2 times 3.5 is 7, plus 3 is 10. Answer is correct. Number 5, similar. We're going to start by multiplying both sides by 4 to eliminate the 4. Multiply this side by 4, we'll end up with 2a minus 3. Multiply this side by 4, we get 28. Then we're going to add 3 to both sides to eliminate the 3, which will give us 31. Then we're going to divide both sides by 2 to get us back to a, which will end up with 31 over 2. Here we get to a fractional expression. We can't really do much until we've got a common denominator to multiply out. So that will give us, if we're trying to get a denominator of 12, we'll have to multiply this by 4 on 4, so we'll end up with 4a on 12. We have to multiply this side by 3 on 3, which will give us 9a on 12. 4a plus 9a will give us 13a on 12. I suppose our first step can be to multiply out the 12's though. So multiply this side by 12, the 12 will be eliminated. 15 times 12 is 180. Here's how I worked it out. 15 times 12 is like saying 10 times 15 plus another 2 times 15. 10 15s plus 2 more 15s is 12 15s. 10 15s is nice and easy. It's 150. 2 15s are 30. Add that together, you get 180. That's where this 180 comes from. 4a plus 9 is just from over here. So now that we've multiplied both sides by 12, we can add these together because they're like terms. That gives us 13a equals 180. Then divide both sides by 13, we get 180 over 13. Number 7. Now we've got a pronumeral in the denominator, or a variable in the denominator, that's a over here. So we need to make a common denominator. If I multiply this one by 2 and 2 over 2 and this one by a over a, I'll end up with a common denominator of 2a. And I've done that here. Once I've got a common denominator, I can multiply both sides by 2a, which gives us 6a. 6 plus a equals 30a. Then if I subtract a from both sides, I'll end up with 6 equals 29a. Flip the sides and divide by 29. And might actually write the right answer, and then it might help. I will end up with 6 on 29. Now, if you can follow what I've just done, you're well on your way to being able to deal with some quite complex algebra. Thank you, everyone.